All right, you ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right, the Mexican Ginger podcast is not intended for...
Was that recorded?
Yeah, always is.
Oh.
Oh. It's not intended for younger audiences, and it's available on everywhere you stream your podcast, as well as our YouTube channel. So I got a bunch of different things that are kind of like dark, spooky, kind of a little gross.
I love dark, spooky, and gross.
All right.
Is there any opportunity to make a joke?
Always.
Okay.
All right.
Well, then, in that case, give it to me.
So this one, let me read you the headline of this Instagram post, and if you don't want to go into it, we won't. Colorado tree worker loses legs on first day of new job.
I saw this.
Did you read how it happened?
Nope.
So John O'Neill, I believe his name. Yeah, John O'Neill.
I wonder if they let him go home early after that.
He was 15 minutes into his workday.
Damn.
First day on the job.
For real, you just got there.
He lost both of his legs in a freak wood chipper accident.
From the knee down or the dick down? You said we could make jokes.
This looks like he lost his knees, so above the knee.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Would you rather lose your leg below the knee or above the knee?
Below the knee or above? Below.
Yeah, same.
Below, because then you get a prosthetic.
Mm-hmm. Or if you lose above the knee, then they can do that thing where they put your foot on backwards to create a knee joint with your ankle.
What?
You've never...
They put your leg on... You lose your leg.
If you lose it above the knee.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
They take a foot. I assume your foot, but like assuming...
Or a donated
your
foot.
Foot's not gone.
Sure.
They take a foot and they like connect it to your leg.
Okay.
Right? But they put the foot on backwards.
To make it a knee?
And it acts as a knee joint. Your ankle. The ankle part does.
So you have one full-size leg and then one foot where your knee is?
Yes.
That's a lot of discrepancy of height.
Well, it's for the prosthetic. Like then the foot then goes inside the prosthetic.
Okay.
And you're able to still like bend your leg and walk because your ankle became your knee.
Oof.
Then you can really cunt punt.
Yes, it can.
Anyways.
Yeah, no, I don't want any of that. So here you go. So this is what happened. What's his name again? John O'Neill, 33-year-old John O'Neill. He explained that a fish hook-shaped branch he was feeding into the wood chipper got caught under his ankle monitor. I didn't know he had an ankle monitor. And it dragged him towards the wood chipper. Seconds later, he sustained severe injuries to his feet and legs. Despite the harrowing situation, he remained calm and held onto the edge of the machine while shouting for help. Not only are you being dragged towards the machine, you're being dragged through the wood chipper. And it already got your ankles, your shins, your knees. You have to hold on to the sides before it eats your whole body up.
Did they give him like a training on this? Like, honestly,
I don't know.
It's your first day and they're making you handle the wood chipper. Like those things kill people for real.
Yeah, that seems like advanced.
Yeah.
Advanced operating.
Like, can't that just be like a log transporter instead?
Right.
Why I gotta be over here chipping wood with this machine?
I don't know, dude. His coworkers couldn't hear him immediately because they were all wearing ear protectors. Once they realized what was happening, God, how long was he holding onto that wood chipper while the thing?
I'm sure it felt like 5 hours.
Ugh. That's the thing if you get eaten by a shark, let me come back. If you get eaten by a shark, would you rather go feet first or head first? I think head. Sever my head. Like, I don't want to know about it. Because otherwise, it's going to take a couple bites of your legs, work its way up your torso. You're alive and alert the whole time.
Unless you pass out.
Unless you pass out. But if you
I
see
feel
a
like
shark
I'd be one
coming,
to pass out.
Yeah.
I definitely would pass out. I almost passed out when I got my tragus pierced.
What's that part? Your nose? Or the thing in your ear?
The thing in my ear.
Yeah.
After they did the second one.
Yeah.
My face was whiter than yo ass.
So this dude, so I forget, you can look.
Speaking of white asses.
Yeah, hold on. So at a point, I had one earring, and then I got two more. Which side I had one and which one I had two in? Can you see? I still have this.
It looks like that side has two and that one might have
Okay,
one.
my left. So we were in the car the other day, and my fiance goes, "How long ago did you get your ears pierced?" I'm like, "Oh, years ago." Because they've obviously closed up since. She goes, "Who did it for you?" Because the side, my left side that had two, she goes, "They're so off. Like, they're not in line. Like, one's in, one's up. Like,
mine are crooked too.
And she goes, "Where did you get it done?" I'm like,
Claire's.
"Yeah." I'm like, "The mall, Claire's?" And she goes, "Oh, all right." So some like 17-year-old girl with an after-school job. I'm like, "I guess so. I don't know." She goes, "Yeah, they're super, like, they're off. They're not aligned at all."
So mine also, I think actually the only professional piercings I've ever gotten that I currently have, and I think I have 10 piercings.
Okay.
Active ones right now.
Right.
Only 3 of them have been professionally done.
It's a lot.
Like, and when I say professional, I mean like go to like a tattoo piercer shop. Yeah.
Versus the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom did my first ones.
Oh, that didn't count as professional.
Well, definitely not.
No.
And she like pierced it, and then I had red thread. I don't know what the fuck it is with Mexicans and red thread.
Okay. She put it in there for good luck?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it has something to do with not getting an infection.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is with Mexicans and red thread, but like they're obsessed with piercing their baby's ears and then putting red thread in it. I don't know what it means.
I didn't know that.
It means something. Anyways, my mom did my first ones, and then I went to like those little like kiosks in the middle of the mall.
Oh yeah.
I got my second ones done at one of those, and it was actually like my sister's friend that worked there that did it. And then my third ones I actually got in Seattle, so like a few years ago. At a Claire's that I just so happened to be passing by, and it was a literal spur of the moment of like, fuck it, let's get our ears pierced.
Yeah.
I was by myself. I just went in, sat down. She did it. One of them's crooked.
Of course.
And yeah, and that was it. I did my nose myself. So the only ones
You
that
did your nose yourself? With what? A needle? Or you just shoved a earring in it?
I started with a safety pin.
Oh! Okay.
I started with the safety pin and got it all the way through my nose until I got to the very bottom layer of skin, like inside my nostril. I couldn't get the safety pin through it because that skin was so stretchy. It was like stretching out with the needle.
Right.
So then I got an earring. That was it was a piercing earring, so the back of it was sharp.
Sharp, yeah.
And I finished it off with the earring. Because it was small enough that I could like stick my fingers kind of inside my nostril, and then I had to like push my nostril out as I pushed the earring in, and it popped through that last layer of skin. And then I took an eraser and I stuck it on the inside to hold the earring in place, and I had it like that for like, I don't know, a couple days before I got a real nose ring.
Holy crap.
Because I also did that like spur of the moment in my bedroom, like middle of the night. It took me like 20 minutes to pierce my nose because it hurt.
That's horrible. My fiance saw that they sell those earring guns on Amazon. She's like, "Let's get one." I'm like, "Why?"
I see a lot of people piercing their own noses with one of those.
No.
And I hear you're not supposed to.
Yeah, you think?
And you're also not supposed to pierce your like upper ear cartilage with those either.
Yeah.
Because I've always heard for the longest that you can like shatter your cartilage with that.
I don't doubt it.
Whatever that means. I don't know.
All right, let me go back to this dude who got eaten by a wood chipper on his first day of work. His coworkers couldn't hear him. Once they realized what was happening, they rushed to him. By the time he was pulled out of the machine, the blades had reached the middle of his thigh.
Oh!
Yeah. The guy John O'Neill said it looked like something out of a movie. I didn't freak out. I did stay calm. I don't know how he did that. My coworkers said I was very cognitive throughout the whole thing. His coworkers made a makeshift bandage of what? His whole leg is gone, helping him to stay alive until the paramedics arrived. He was airlifted to a nearby hospital where he briefly died as his heart stopped, but the doctors were able to revive him following the accident. His friend launched a GoFundMe campaign. Whoa, this dude.
That sucks. So how did this happen again? A branch hooked him and dragged him in?
Yeah, so he's loading...
That's some Final Destination shit.
Exactly. He's loading a branch into the wood chipper. He's loading the branch into the wood chipper, and then it's got like a piece that kind of hooks around, so it came up behind him, caught his ankle, and dragged him into it.
That's crazy. Like you would think that you would notice, like you would see something like that. I know. And avoid it.
Wow. All right, so that's that guy.
Yeah, I did see that story.
In all these photos, he's smiling, like he's recovering, he's double gunning his biceps in the photo of him on the wheelchair with 0 legs, full on Lieutenant Dan style.
Yeah, what the fuck? Lieutenant Dan has no foot.
The Hurricane Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
Give me the background on him. Like what,
I don't
what
know
do you know?
The background
He's
on him.
got no foot.
So I was reading up on him. Lieutenant Dan is this guy in Florida. His real name, I forgot his real name. Doesn't matter. He got nicknamed Lieutenant Dan from
the internet,
from Forrest Gump.
Uh-huh.
And he chose to like ride out Hurricane Milton in his sailboat on the water, just like tied up to a dock.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I'm just gonna chill out here for the hurricane, and I'll be fine. Everyone's like, bro, what the fuck? It's a Category 5.
Yeah.
Like it's getting so strong that they may even consider it a Category 6, which doesn't even fucking exist.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna sit in your sailboat? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So he sits in his sailboat during the hurricane, and the hurricane passes, and he made it, and he's fine. But then I think when the hurricane hit, it was like a Category 2, like it hella downgraded from a 5.
Once it gets closer to landfall, they always downgrade, and that's why so many people are like, "Yeah, there's no reason to rush out." It's a Category 5 in the middle of the ocean, but when it gets closer to land, like it'll be fine.
But it was huge.
No, for real. No, I agree with you.
I still would have been freaked out. Like, sure, it may downgrade, but looking at a map and looking at how fucking big that hurricane was,
Yeah.
it's like. And then it was changing direction constantly. Like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
And then with global warming, like, you don't fucking know.
Yeah. You see the one person that came home, their house was flooded, and as they're walking through, there was an alligator they got. Yep.
Yeah, I seen that. But anyway, so the cops were constantly going to see Lieutenant Dan at his boat, trying to get him to evacuate and go to a safer area, and he like refused. But there's this photo of the police talking to Lieutenant Dan on the dock. He has one crutch, and I think it's his left foot is like missing from maybe the ankle down. Yeah, that motherfucker ain't got no foot. And I'm hearing rumors that the reason why he stayed on his boat is because there was a ban on like people who have sexual assault charges or have been in jail, or like these people who have these records and hold those kind of records.
Oh, wow. I'm looking at his foot right now. It's not just a foot. It's like from the shin. So speaking of like amputated below the knee.
Oh, okay. Well,
so he's
then,
missing a foot and a full shin.
Well, there you go. Anyways, he has a long track record of arrests. And I think I saw post something on Instagram. He had like 14 mug shots.
Yeah, I'm counting all 17 right now.
Oh, 17.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, I mean 7, 14.
14. So anyways, people are speculating that the reason why he stayed on the boat is because he wouldn't have been let into the shelters. I don't know what his arrests are for. I mean, it looks like drugs. Drugs. I know there's a couple of assaults. Like he punched a cop in the nose for one of them. There's another charge where he like poured gasoline on a woman that was at a park and like lit a park bench on fire. Like he seems pretty fucking psycho.
I don't think Lieutenant Dan has toes on his other foot. He's missing a shin, a foot, and then 5 toes on his foot that he does have. Lieutenant Dan is down bad. Name of the podcast. Lieutenant Dan.
It's down
He's
bad.
down bad.
What if that's why he was like, fuck this. I'm just going to sit in my boat. Whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens, happens.
You know? Like at this point
let go and let God.
At this point, love her, leave her alone.
Yep.
Shout out to Chef Cassie.
Oh, my goodness.
But yeah, man, I think I was more shocked with all of the hurricanes that spawned in Florida ahead of Hurricane Milton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not hurricanes, tornadoes.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say?
Hurricanes.
Oh, with all the tornadoes that spawned, I think Florida with Hurricane Milton set a record for second most tornadoes to like, I think it was tornadoes or tornado warnings or something like that.
It was like 126
to hit. Yeah. And it happens like all at once. And there was like a map. As soon as I got home yesterday, I turned on the local Orlando news and I was watching it all night. And they were showing.
How'd you do that?
I have live TV on Prime.
And you can just be like, I want to watch Orlando TV now.
No, I just went through the guide, like the channels.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And the Orlando, I initially was looking for like the Weather Channel. I'm like, for sure the Weather Channel's got to be on here.
Yeah.
Instead, I found local, there's like a small section of news stations, news channels. And one of them was a local station in Orlando. It probably was because of the hurricane. They knew people wanted to tune in and watch. I think one was like Tampa, one was Orlando, and then a local, I think a local Sacramento news here. And then there's like local news, Chicago, LA, and like all that. Anyway, so I was watching the Orlando news station and they had the state with sections of the state like glowing and color coded based on who got actual tornadoes that touched down, who just had tornado warnings, who just had what's the other one? You get, I think, alert.
Okay. So different scales of advisory.
Yeah, there's one because I had to get this explained to me when I lived in Nashville because I thought every tornado alert we got meant that there was a fucking tornado coming, and I used to freak out. And they're like, no. One of them just means that there could be a tornado. Another one means that a tornado has touched down in the area. I think that one's like tornado alert.
Okay.
Means like there is an active tornado like that touchdown. And then you get the alerts that are like, take cover, take cover. Those ones are fucking scary. Anyways,
What?
Okay.
You just get a tornado alert right now?
No, I got a text from every time we're podcasting or doing something in the studio and I get a text from our boss. I immediately stop talking because I'm like, oh my God, we're live.
Yeah. I hate doing it in this studio. Just because I don't like doing it in the studio.
Oh, weird. Okay. Yeah, I forgot what we were talking about. But anyways.
Well, Florida being Florida, how many people you think took that opportunity to be like, I'm skipping town. I'm going to disappear. Like the cops are after me, or like I want to divorce my wife, or like I'm in debt. Like I'm going to use this natural disaster as a way to like go off the grid or move or just like, because they said a lot of people did that when 9/11 happened. A lot of people started a new life.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, obviously these are rumors and urban legends.
Like to fake their death? They faked their death and then went off and started a new life?
Yeah. For whatever they were running from, they're like, all right, look, there's a lot of people missing. I'm just going to be one of them and I'm going to peace out.
I never thought about doing that.
Yeah. I always think about that when I'm either in New York or when the anniversary comes up. I'm like, I wonder how many people, because I used to watch so many 9/11 documentaries and they would always bring that up. Like, yeah, people took that opportunity. So with Florida, how many people you think took that opportunity to be like, all right, cool, I'm out. Like they're going to think I got swept away or.
I don't know. I never thought about that.
Oh, yeah. And it bugs me like the looters. A lot of people go in like, hey, this whole neighborhood's evacuated. I'm going to go in and start looting.
But don't you think people would have seen, like if someone was going to fake their death.
Yeah.
I think if they were skipping town to do that, they would have been seen leaving town via neighbors or whatever. You know what I mean?
middle of the night, storm watch. Everybody's.
But I just don't, it would not have been possible to leave. Like, if you were going to do that, you would have to literally wait until the last minute when the storm is actively happening, then go out and leave town. And I just don't think that something like that would be actually possible.
It's probably super hard
you would
now.
probably actually die. You wouldn't have to fake your death. You'd be dead.
Yeah. It's probably so hard now to go off the grid. Like back in the day, like cowboys in India, like cowboy westerns, you'd just be like, I'm just going to get on my horse and go to the next town. Like, that's it. Like, nobody knows me. Like, nobody commutes.
There's no social media over there.
No. Like, inside, like, you don't, like, back in the day, you wouldn't go from, like, Sacramento to San Francisco or, like, even Sacramento to Roseville. You just, like, you live here and that's it. You don't commute. Yeah. But if I wanted to, like, to start a new life, I'd get on my horse, ride for a day.
Go across the river to West Sacramento.
Yeah. They're like, who are you? Bob Smith?
Just moved here.
Yeah, just moved in town.
Looking for work. Oh, would you like to be we have an opening for a saloon manager.
Done. Build the railroad. Nuts. I've got this one TikTok video that's kind of long. I've been keeping it for a while. I might wait for the next podcast. It's about a ghost plane or the sleepy stickers. Have you heard about the sleepy stickers? These two teachers are getting fired for it.
Ooh,
you want to do that?
About that.
Okay, here we go. So, let me play a little bit. Here we go. This was I saw this on TikTok. It was a news story. I think I cut this part off that 2 teachers and 2 teacher aides are put on leave already.
I already know what this is about.
Yeah, you do? What do you think it's about? Because I've never heard of these things until now.
I don't know what sleepy stickers are. But hearing that it's teachers, if I had to guess what the story was about, they were probably dosing the kids with melatonin to put them to sleep so that they wouldn't have to deal with them throughout the day because they are not the first teachers to do this.
I've never heard of this.
Really?
I don't have any kids, so I'm not involved in like the school stuff. So here we go.
So if you're an air traffic controller.
Oh, that's the ghost plane. Sorry, here we go. Sleepy stickers.
What happened with the sticker?
The sticker makes...
So the reporter is talking to...
One of the
she's
kids.
got to be first grade or kindergarten or something like that. Super young.
What happened with the sticker?
The sticker makes me fall asleep.
This is 4-year-old Lane Luviano.
4-year-old. She goes, the sticker makes me fall
That's
asleep.
kindergarten.
Is it really?
Easy.
She's the one that broke this case open in September.
No, pre-K, actually.
Oh.
When she snuck one of her sleepy stickers out of the classroom.
So they showed it, and it was a square. Mm-hmm. They kept showing it on this news. It's a square, and it looked, it was blue like the night sky, and I think it had a moon or a star on it, something like that.
Mm-hmm. So what? They're like melatonin patches or something.
Something like that. So she snuck one home from school because apparently the teachers give them out during school.
She kind of pulled up her little shorts and said, "Mom, look, this is my sleeping sticker." And I was like, "The what?"
When Lane's mom, Lisa, saw the sticker, she thought it was strange and asked her daughter about it.
And the teacher gives it to you where she put it?
On my arm.
On my arm. Teacher puts it on my arm.
On your arm?
Yeah.
Lane's dad says he's known something was wrong since school first started.
Here we go.
2 o'clock in the morning, I'm hearing some noise in the room, and I'm going over there. She's still up.
And so she gives you the sticker, you put the sticker on, and it makes you tired?
Yeah.
Wow. And all the kids get them?
Yeah.
They never notified the parents.
So Lisa took matters into her own hands. She reached out to the other parents in Lane's class, sent them pictures of the patch.
Can you imagine that group chat? Like with all the other parents? Like, hey.
It's funny because I feel like if my kid would have been like, it's my sleepy sticker, and showed me a sticker that they had on their arm or something with stars and a moon on it, I'd have been like, oh yeah, like good night stickers or something. I don't know if I would have put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
I would have thought that they were just calling it a sleepy sticker because the sticker looks like bedtime or something.
Sure.
To see if their kids were getting the stickers too.
I showed it to my 4-year-old, and she said, yes, that's the sleepy sticker.
Melissa Guilford immediately went online to research the sticker.
Here's what it is.
Sleep Z patch. And if you read the ingredients on them, it has a lot of things I've never even heard of.
And they're giving them drugs to make them sleep, to keep them quiet.
Najala Abdullah tells us she'd noticed changes in her son, who told her he'd been getting the stickers too. She says he'd been crying, stopped eating, and was bringing home lunches that he hadn't touched.
It's a mess. It's messing with these kids.
I ain't gonna lie, I want these sleep stickers.
The parents shared
I'm
with us an
Googling
email
it now.
they received from Northgate Crossing Elementary's principal today. The email states 2 of the school staff members were put on leave after they allegedly administered sleeping supplements to students on September 24th. The email also states the Spring ISD Police Department is investigating.
All right. So, yeah.
Sensoril ashwagandha.
Oh, it's ashwagandha. Okay.
Melatonin.
Of course, I knew it had melatonin in it.
Hops. Valerian root.
Okay.
And more.
But yeah, they're doping these kids up. Like, hey, take a nap. But do you remember nap time in kindergarten, though? Do you remember that? Doing nap time? You would just lay on the floor. The teacher would turn the lights off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, being devil's advocate, what's the difference? It's just like a forced nap time.
Yeah, the difference is that maybe they're not supposed to have naps.
I think they're too young for melatonin also. Isn't that supposed to be like a certain age?
Yeah.
She's 4.
And sometimes with pre-K, sometimes it's not a full day. Sometimes it's like a half day.
Yeah.
And if the teachers are just making these kids go to sleep as soon as they walk in there or something, like it's clearly because they don't want to fucking deal with them.
Sure.
So just knock them out.
You know, it might be funny. You get a couple of those and then you like slowly put them on people at work. Like you pat them on the back, like, hey man, good to see you.
Like slap it on the back of their neck.
And they don't know. And they like all come by later. Hey, I shake their hand and like put it on their wrist or something like that. So they got like 3 or 4 like Z patches. Like, I'm really drowning. We go by and they're snoozing on their desk.
You know what happened actually? My son went to a sketchy daycare pre-K.
Uh-huh.
It came recommended from one of my coworkers. And I went one time in the middle of the day to pay like the tuition.
Yeah.
And so the front of the building was like the smaller kids' classroom. And then there was an older kids' classroom in the back. And so my son was in with the older kids. I think it was like a grade school age level. And then the kids in the front were like toddler pre-K.
Yeah.
I remember I walked in one day to pay the tuition and they were having lunch. And I remember looking at their lunch plates and seeing that they were eating like, I forgot, it was like pieces of bread and like a slice of cheese and like some cracker. Like it was like weird, some like really like, this is what you're feeding them type shit.
Okay.
And the teacher saw me, I didn't say anything, but she saw me looking at their plates and then glancing back down because at the front, taped to the railing, had the menu for the week.
Okay.
So she saw me looking at what they were eating and looking at the menu. And the menu was like chicken nuggets, pizza, fruit. And I'm glancing back and forth. Didn't say anything, but I just like made a mental note like, okay, that's not what the fuck they're eating.
Z patches.
Right. And so like Jelani gets home or I pick him up and I'm like, oh, what'd you have for lunch today? Like I started asking him every day for the next like maybe, I don't know, few days, what he was eating to see if it was matching the menu. But what I noticed, what I thought was funny was the next day when I went to go pick him up, after I noticed what they were eating did not match what was on the menu, the menu that was taped to the front was gone.
Oh.
So
they got caught.
She took that shit off and was like, uh-oh. And
now real quick, was this a daycare that was like a house? You just dropped them off at a house?
Well, it was in Nashville, and a lot of the businesses and buildings and places all looked like houses. It wasn't in a residential area.
Oh, okay.
But it did look like a house.
All right. Because those used to be all over San Jose. Like it would be.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it'd be a house. It'd be like, this is a jeweler, is it? This is a daycare, is it really? And then this is like Bob who lives at 1115 Main Street.
Yeah.
It's like, and everybody would convert their houses into daycares.
It looks like a house, but it wasn't in a residential area. But I remember that happening, and I told my coworker about it. And then I actually became friends with my son's teacher.
Okay.
She was younger. She was a listener. We were like friends on Instagram and Snapchat, and like she would always come by the tailgate during homecoming weekend and like come hang out and talk to me, whatever, and like shoot the shit. So I was like cool with her, and I like asked her, I'm like, told her what happened, and I'm like, so like what's going on in there? And she was like, girl, we're supposed to be using the kitchen, and they're supposed to be like the oven don't even work in there, and like she don't want to spend the money to fix it. She gets all this money from tuition and money from the state.
Yeah, I was gonna say from the government
for all these kids, and that's what she feeds them. And she's like it's a money thing. Like of course I make sure Jelani's taken care of because like me and you are cool or whatever, and you know I do my best with what we're given, but like we can't say anything because then she'll just fire us. And yeah, it was bad. And I told my coworker, and I think we ended up leaving shortly after that anyways. But yeah, I think she ended up, I don't think she's still there. I think she like ended up closing down.
Probably.
But ever since then, it's like little things like that made me, when I would look into daycares, like I would start asking like different questions, and like I knew what I should be asking and what I should be looking out for, and I would always be like, hey, where do you make your food? Let me go look at your kitchen. Like,
smart.
What do you guys do? What do you have in there to cook? Like, what do these kids eat?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was really that was just like really fucked up to me, because I'm like, damn, like I'm trusting you to take care of my kid, and you're fucking feeding him pieces of cheese for lunch. Like, bro, what?
And Z-packing him up.
I'm paying $500 a fucking week for this.
Yeah.
Like, hell no.
Hell nah. All right, that's the podcast. I'm gonna hold off this ghost plane for next time because it's a creepy TikTok. It was this air traffic controller talking about like if there's a plane where everybody's dead and it's still in the air. Like it's a whole thing, but it's like a long...
Well, what?
It's a long video.
Okay.
So we'll do that next time. You can follow us on Instagram at Strawberry and Lizette.
I'm at Lizette Love, LIZETTELOVE.
There's two E's at the end.
LOVEE. Every time you yawn in October, a ghost sticks his dick in your mouth.
Hell yeah.
Goodbye.
Call me sleepy. You can follow me at Strawberry Radio. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks for streaming the podcast and for checking out our YouTube page. Peace. Lizette's going to go yawn right now, everybody.